That's exciting. Yeah, I was hoping you'd come by and appreciate this. Boy, I missed that game. As far... I don't know, it's been a little while since I looked into it, I don't know. Last time I looked into it, just when it doesn't emulate. Because of, like, processor clock speed problems. Like, it doesn't sync time correctly. I wonder if I can have that. Based on Google, it doesn't sound like anybody's gotten it figured out. I never clued into that guy going bum before. Yep. Oh, guess. Oh. Versus. Gas! Oh! That freaking game. Yeah, I have it in there, so if emulation ever does catch up to it, I'll be ready for it. Techman says allegedly someone got busted group working in Duck Station about a year ago. Noted. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to, like, literally make a note of that. I don't believe I've ever even heard of Duck Station before. There we go, that was even like an extended cut that I found on YouTube. Like the normal length of a a match in that game is only a few minutes. Because, you know, it's a rhythm game, you can only do rhythm for like a few minutes at a time. Anyway, speaking of music. Speaking of... Oh, GOG Galaxy is up there. Hang on. Actually, a Reddit post by the guy apparently responsible for the coding changes. Boy, hats off to the guy who went out of his way to fix emulation so that we could play Bust a Groove again. Anyway, speaking kind of music, except not actually, here's Disco Elysium. To recode a game, yeah, I mean, presumably you would make changes to the emulator rather than the game, but honestly, who knows? Like, something's gotta give. What were we doing last time? I remember what we were doing last time, kind of. We got a few things done. We talked to Everard Clare, our pal. We talked to, Joyce, her, you know, over there. Who is the, a representative of the Wild Pines, but a company who was allegedly the employer of the victim, even though we don't seem to know his identity specifically. And yes, most importantly, we got the body down from the tree. We did a field autopsy. We were as thorough as we could be. Excuse Gorvis. And the body is no longer here. And Kim has gone to take it to the stinky body pile so it's not stinking this place up anymore. So I'm by myself for the rest of the day. Kim will join us again tomorrow. So kind of a shame that I have to figure out how to kill the rest of a day without Kim, but I'll figure something out. I mean, I should definitely go talk to Joyce, but I don't have to do that right away. I could still meet the guy I saw on the balcony the other day, considering I was already alone when I met him. Old Martin S. up in apartment 23 or whatever. So I guess I'll just bum around. Duck Station is still being actively developed, unlike most which stopped some years ago, like 5 years ago. Gotcha. Ooh, alright, the Hardy Boys and the Diner. I'm not sure if I want to engage them without Kim behind me. As in, like, that could actually lead to a game over condition. There is actually one interaction in that, in the Hardy Boys branching thing, which in fact kills you dead. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna engage with them. I think I'm gonna want Kim behind me. It's always a very unpleasant conversation in any case. Hi.
Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
We're now talking to this working class woman. She really doesn't want to be disturbed that much. She's such a working class woman. Why isn't she working? Hold on a second. Something's playing a freaking ad at me in my browser over here. There we go. I think I'm just going to leave this lady alone. No, you know what? I'm going to ask questions. Because what else am I going to do all day? What are you doing?
Looking for something to read.
Good, good.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. Seems like she spent a lot of time at work smoking. I don't know. I guess I'll leave you alone. Yeah, you know what? Even before I start spending money on things from the bookstore or whatever, I should probably go pay for my next night's stay before I forget. I don't want Kim to have to sell, like, the wheels off his car to bail me out. Not the rims, but the entire wheels. It's prime right off there, taken to the pawn shop. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Titus Hardy isn't even here. I guess I can't. No, there he is. He just moved. Taking your change. Can't stop me. Taking it. Taking that too. Maybe I'll just at least introduce myself. This is a bad idea.
Over here.
Yeah? This is the gardener lady we saw
Let
earlier.
me handle this. You are far from home, officer. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
You're not a gardener.
That's right. I'm not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
Seems like she's waiting for a reaction of some sort. I'm just here to do my job. Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him. That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
Well, what are you gonna do to me?
What are we going to do to you? The Union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
It's kind of a crime syndicate.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything,
Oh god, I didn't even
the
consider that
RCM
Titus Hardy's gonna be fully
brings
voiced
people.
now.
But we digress.
I guess I'll talk to Titus then, some other time. So hey, Gart, how's it going, man? Pal? Good buddy, who you are, my friend, there? You?
Can I help you? Got the 20 real?
Yes, I got your 20 real.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe I can talk more about cryptids now.
Oh, hello, dear.
Damn, I
didn't
need more
notice you
suggestion.
first.
What was this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He
Ooh,
said
that's
they'd be
why
back
they're
on
missing.
Monday. What could be keeping them?
The water lock, that was broken. Wait, who's this Gary guy?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
Anyway, the water lock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
You may not believe it, but it looks like some maniac smashed his motor carriage into it.
Oh, sweetie, if it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Why, when I
Listen,
catch whatever
sweetie,
asshole
I have
crashed his
to
motor
ask,
carriage
if
into it,
your
I'm gonna...
investigation happens to take you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here
Lena.
at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
Yeah, alright.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Oh, I get to retry that check, now that I reassured her about her husband. Talk to me about cryptids. Yes! There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask. Hey, Lena, I'd like to hear more about the cryptids you study. Could you just tell me about a couple of them?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
Now this is how you pass time. You talk about cryptids. What's the biggest cryptid?
That would be the giant of Coconur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Coconur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Wait, what do you mean strange light?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
Psychogenous luminance. And how big are we talking about?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
I just flashed back to friggin' Mario's Mystery Meat when you're in like the friggin' vaporwave colored desert and the meat looms in the background with the PSX startup sound. Boo, boo.
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable. That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support.
Ye gods.
There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
In this universe, it's not impossible. There's some weird shit going on around here. Inland Empire says, great, this is great shit. You need more. What's the tiniest cryptid?
Cryobacter catlensis.
Cryobacter catlensis.
Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history.
Thomas says surely its butt exists in superliminal space, or Space 2 for short. Thomas should write for this game.
Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study. No doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
Alright, I'm gonna go for this one. I don't understand. Why would you prolong your life? Being alive is terrible.
Oh, sweetie. It's not all quite so awful, but prolonging one's life does seem to come with risks. After Mijanou treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
Wild. What's the most dangerous cryptid?
The gnome of Jeroma.
The Gnome of Jeroma. That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, it is. None of his victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
Whoa. What did this cryptid look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the Gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
Are there any photos of it?
Alas, no. And the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
Tama beat me to it by a second. Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient? It seems very convenient that it just disappeared and nothing like it was seen again.
I understand your skepticism, but that's what happens with things that are rare and stand out. Their disappearance is most memorable, and they are least likely to be found again.
Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
What's that?
The Koldamama Dakwa, or thin whisper of sound. And that's precisely what it seems to be. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible, It's very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
What does it sound like?
Like nothing, it's such a high-pitched sound that us humans can't hear it, nor can other animals. It could be ringing right outside your window and you wouldn't even know it. Could be anywhere. Everywhere, even.
How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Could it be here, right now?
It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
What evidence is there of this animal being a sound?
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, a group of Areopagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range,
Yeah.
they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds. The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls.
She transforms when speaking about these strange animals into a confident woman.
They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Col de Mamadaqua, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Wow.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them.
Name them.
Sequester, Time, Joscan. Those are but some of the Mamadaqua they followed individually.
Interesting. So,
What about what?
this has been educational, but sadly we need to discuss something else.
Of course, dear.
Tell me more about this rare insect your husband's looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
No, I want to hear about the insect.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but
These are the kinds of conversations that are easier to have without Kim behind you. Oh yeah, here comes the interesting.
where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence, it's named the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering it with us, officer.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So a newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have.
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses. You seem really excited about this cryptid.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Does it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even.
I don't care if it's valuable. Okay, so what's special about the stick bug then?
Oh dear, I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Okay, I think the bug conversation is exhausted. I'm gonna hop up and BRB because I needed a refresh of my beverage. Stand by a moment. I am home. Disco. We now know all about cryptids. This is all valuable information to have in our investigation. It will be useful and good. Nah, I think I'm jumping the gun here. I just, out of idle curiosity, remembering that she existed, I thought I would check upstairs if Classier is around. But nah, I don't really think we have any reason to bark up that tree in the moment. I know I had heard the word irascible before, but not in a long time. It's not exactly a common one. It's like irritable, except worse. I don't want to talk to the Hardy Boys, they're not very nice. So if the Union are like the de facto wannabe police force in this area, the Hardy Boys there are like... they're the militant division. Was that... could it be... the cold of mom duck? Nah, probably just your imagination. What, is it a ring? Seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring, ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans. What you're hearing must just be regular bird. There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species. Must be very close. Maybe, just maybe it will come towards you. Keep still, it might perch on your shoulder. Hold very, very still. Oh no, the sound, it's moving away. Somewhere over there, go after it. No, too late. It's gone. It's no ringing anymore, just the sound of the streets. It'll come back. Keep your ears peeled then. If the species really has migrated to Martin Ness, you're sure to hear it again. Oh, I gotta do this. Do I have any points? Can I... Nah, I don't have any skill points. I can't free up any slots. I would love to internalize Cold Domama Dakawa, though. I'm sure I heard it. I'm gonna be Cryptid Cup. Do I have any tear? I must have picked up some tear at some point. Right, we were also going to investigate the drugs going through this traffic jam here. Which is another thing that I would love to have Kim around for, because he's the actually smart guy. You know, let me talk to Tommy for a minute, though. I don't see any tear. Tommy and I have already bonded.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
Not your best feat of conceptualization. So what's going on with this strike?
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands. No way in or out.
It's the union demanding.
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like, a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
That'd be Joyce. What do you think the company wants?
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
All of who?
Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
Not you?
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
Glances down the road towards the horizon, a glint of something in his eyes. Tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him as if he's trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior. You seem like a man who knows about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Just be straight with him. That's pretty much what I was thinking. Like, if there's anybody around here who I think will give you a straight answer, it'd be Tommy. Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs out of Terminal B.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Why are you still hanging around?
Gotta guard the stuff. Bosses don't look kindly on missing cargo, and it gives me time to work on my rhymes.
Who do you think could be conducting the drug trade, then?
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
It's not a lie, it's something else. Impossible to say what at this point, but there's something in him, some trepidation. That's all for now. Let me see if I have any apparel that I can improve my conceptualization score with. Feel like I must have something. Yeah, I have my white satin shirt. And my Sarah Mirizian lounge jacket. Here we go. If I dress as much like a pretentious douche as possible, my conceptualization skill will go way up. Damn, should have worn that when I looked at the wall.
Now it's turning into a...
There we
kind
go.
of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
Wait, there's something here. Stored away in some dusty corner. It starts like... A mirror's temperature is always 0. It is ice in the veins. Its camera is an X-ray.
Whoa. What else?
It's a chalice held out to you in silent communion.
Silent communion. That's good.
Where graspingly you partake of a shifting identity never your own.
Dang. That's some great shit. You came up with that yourself.
Did you? I kind of like having the high psyche skill. This is an interesting build. I don't really know.
No matter. Great verse is like that sometimes. Ephemeral. You might not look it. Seems you have some literary chops. Maybe there's hope for me yet.
That's a strange compliment.
Just messing with you. It's cool. You're an okay guy. For a cop.
Or a cup.
They're more often in the fists than rhymes, see? Let alone honesty in verse.
He's not wrong. In a small office behind the old military hospital, hunched over the green glow of his desk light, Officer Hans Blow browses through a test print of his Futurist magazine. It's called The Futurist. The typeface on the header is too small. I'm doing what little I can do. I'm doing what little I can to do right by people.
Well, you've given me some hope, I guess.
Alright. That's all for now, Tommy. Kent says as far as he knows, the ones Tommy is singing when he's meeting him are song lyrics to British Sea Power songs. Alright. I feel like I've already pretty well scrounged all the tear out of this area. I was wondering if I could raise any more change before I go towards the bookstore, but... I already talked to this lady for a minute.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you've jolted her back to reality. The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the wary aspect of a cornered beast. You alright, ma'am? You were out there.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
What's so bad about the 50s?
The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
Alright. When else would you be then?
Back in Methka, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buendero.
That is quite an accent.
Until you came along, that is.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Lowman. It was early spring, and the man behind the Black Sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden. While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, in Methk, it was a golden age.
Right. I have some other questions for you. Police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing of her motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard. I like the designs of these trucks, by the way. I like how it just has like this whole railed-in section right here, and then just like the actual driver's cabin is right there. It's a neat design. There's something off about this woman. I'll just show you the soles of her boots. Maybe she was at the hanging somehow? Show me the soles of your boots.
Now what do you want with an old woman's boots, Sheriff?
Please, just help me out here. It's important.
Please? I think you should let me get back to Gabriel Buenguerro. You are not Gabriel. Gabriel doesn't say please.
She's wearing sturdy worker's boots made of black leather. Buckles run across. The sole is also made of leather. Now, the other one, please.
Just before Gabriel, it was the coronation of Franco Negro. Now, there was a real man.
There is no aberration in the pattern that you can see. She puts her foot down. Moreover, the boots were size 37, tiny. There are too many discrepancies in all this. What do you mean it was the coronation of Franco Negro?
It was. And then it was no more. And I was no longer holding my father's hand. He was no longer descending the stairs in Ryle. The crowd had gone silent. Perhaps it was another Herife who came and woke me up, looking at my boots, asking questions. Or perhaps it was one of the others in this carnival. I don't remember.
As she says carnival, she gestures to the empty square with the statue and the machines. Those are not the boots I was looking for.
The feet of a little girl, they fit well on the pedals.
So, what are you hauling?
Diamonds.
Diamonds, really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Okay, but what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So, you don't know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
I don't think I do know what you mean.
Of course you don't.
Before I came, you seemed away.
What do you mean?
You were in a dream, inactive, turned off.
Yes? What about it?
Should you drive a lorry if you get like that?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one else will.
What routes?
Lomonosov's Land, Udajnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain,
She nods and closes her eyes again, letting her mind submerge.
the Transcatolia Magistral, you for 1A, Adestradas du Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly.
Cool. Right until you dust, sister.
Irmao, I already am dust.
You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare.
Could I get my hands on an experience like that?
If you don't know,
What is it you're hauling exactly?
you're man, Lowman, what of it?
Okay, let me put this another way. Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B?
Maybe, probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
You said earlier you don't know what cargo you're hauling. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grad, on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiriza to Grad, Lowman?
Drugs?
No, Lowman, diamonds.
If you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. He's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others. Okay, if you're not involved with the drug trafficking, then why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
Alright, thank you for now.
Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Meskin.
Kind of an unpleasant conversation, but like so many of the NPCs in this freaking game, there's a lot to dig into there if you pass all the right checks. Another surprisingly interesting person. I'm gonna switch back to my crusty tank top, because I don't want a penalty to my suggestion. Conceptualization is a good skill to have, though. Maybe I'll keep wearing this for right now. Right, I lose a lot of authority for having the smelly toilet ledger. Yeah, I'll just keep wearing this for the moment. Ugh. I actually adulted a little bit today and cleaned the place up a little earlier. Maybe some dust going around. Here's this guy again.
Nice aggression with the native. Don't let the chief fool you next time. You don't need to be that up in his face. Leave yourself space to move.
That's right, I tried to fight Measurehead. Didn't go very well. Not bad advice, actually. This might do the trick.
Let's talk about our right to work.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna help me. Except possibly give a couple of pointers to my boxing form. Do I have any tear on me? $6. Nice. Oboe cap. I don't think I really need anything else. I've got some health recovery and some... I mean, I could buy alcohol. No, I better not. Kim doesn't like that. Actually, I don't think he has too much to say about it. I think he sort of expects it, but still. can actually, I think it like adds a +1 to your physique score while you have a drink. Here. Do I have anything worth pawning? Couple of postcards. Oh yeah, Renee's photo. There he is. We found Renee's workstation, apparently.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
Renee, I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
Feels like he has to justify himself for some reason. You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
So why do you want to leave?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
So who was working your shift that night?
No one. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
The container yard has been unguarded for a week?
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
So it doesn't matter if you're there or not.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Oh, what's so bad about decorated people collecting tear all day? There we go. There's nothing wrong with tear collecting. It's my side thing too. Hobo cup.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
He is not going to become an entrepreneur. I saw a picture in there. You were in it. You looked happy. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Got it. Thanks.
Yes, yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
You mentioned Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu. Who's that?
Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
What happened to her?
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage, peaceful. Renee and I were both by her bedside when she...
Died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back. Will it now?
departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met.
Why do you think she was indecisive?
She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married.
That's a bit odd.
Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. So Justa with your fancy words and pastries.
Suddenly remembers you are still there, falls silent and turns away. Alright, thanks for sharing.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left.
Bye for now. Got another skill point. I think I need to internalize the cryptid. Yes, we will discover the cryptid. We will be cryptid cop. I guess we'll cruise around to the bookstore a little bit, see if there's anything worth grabbing there. I have $8. Gift books and molten candy. Old sports magazines tucked away in a dark corner. The book collects the national recipes of Arda. They are all about lake trout. Man, this game's soundtrack is good though.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
A golden pendant hangs around the woman's neck in the shape of what looks like a tiny fish head trapped in amber. That's a curious pendant you're wearing.
Oh yes, helps to have an anchor in these times.
So, you're the owner of this store?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Your voice, high-pitched, sounds familiar. You've talked to her before through the doorbell. She has fine-tuned her voice to find the most welcoming approach for attracting new customers. It doesn't work. Your daughter's the one standing outside the door, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yeah.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
Gross. Your opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store. I'm not going to grade a human being. I don't do that.
Come now. It's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer.
10. She's certainly very polite and helpful.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
Let's just not get into it. Annette is quite the trooper. She is a great value add.
As a young girl should be. With the proper attitude, she'll have a bright financial future.
Okay, let's change the subject. The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then she nudges her glasses. Farewell for now, book peddler. Hi, Pushy. Wow, you work hard. I do? Ollie says it takes a lot to be as bad as the racist, but there she is. Yeah, Plaisance is pretty terrible. Oh yes, you hustle, you're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. What hard work do I do exactly? Look at yourself, you're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way. And you won't let it break you. You ride. Yeah, I ride a little. A little? You make money. You got gills, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franconjeros and the Solas. I didn't read that right at all. I don't care. It ain't easy, but you do it day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a competent sprinter and a mighty printer. No, and then there's pawning stuff off to that Roy guy. Yeah, you're in the sales business, shaking for shit and then pawn it off. Law officer style. I guess I've got some gills, sure. Sure, and has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now ask yourself, are you rich? No. That's right. You work harder than anyone. You rode yourself almost to the grave and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? The system is broken. Boo-hoo, the system is broken. The establishment's keeping me down. That's not the fuck yeah attitude you're used to. What is this? Why are you so poor? I don't know. Why am I so poor? Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze. Really? Every time I sneeze? Every time you wipe your ass, they got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony, one tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's this stuff people in other countries pay for that makes them ask for more money from you here. Total tax duties add up to 98% of all of your money. Are you sure? That seems like a pretty big number. What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples? Bleeding nipples are kind of a pain, but how will deregulation help with that? It's all about the tax issue, hustler. No other problem in the world is as pressing as top marginal tax rates, and don't you fucking forget it. My nipples are killing me. I don't think I'm going to internalize that one. First, if you have a side bitch ideology cooking somewhere, don't sweat it. You're a cool anarchist now. Unless you don't want to be an anarchist, whatever. But do you have any rubber walrus protectors? Right. Let's move on. Let's move on from everything. Let's forget the last 10 minutes. The Man from Helmdall. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Helmdall somewhere. Rows and rows of Helmdallermen blur your vision. You make out some titles, Man from Helmdall and Mammoth Riders. Man from Helmdall, Return to Helmdall, and the... Oops, I didn't mean to pick a thing. My finger. Excited. Man from Helmdall, Return to Helmdall, and the solipsistic Man from Helmdall and the Helmdall Man. Like, I have pretty good vocabulary, but this game still keeps throwing me some curveballs. Pain threshold is the check to look through the Helmdall books. Nothing of interest, only silence and the cosmic background pain radiation. Ollie says, I can't believe you pronounce a Welsh name wrong. I guess you didn't know me that well. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by We're All related merchandise. An endless variety, source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. Now, codices, yeah, I thought you were gonna throw a curve on me at that one. Nah, it's just the plural of codex. The topmost book is entitled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art. The Hunters of Katwak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book called Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrog. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books? Solipsism, the belief or proposition that the person entertaining it alone exists and that other people exist only as ideas in his mind. Whoa. I'm just browsing a bookstore. How are we good lord. This game, it's like an island in a sea of chaos. It's like, everywhere you look, you feel like you're teetering over the edge into madness. There's a box that says, We're All 3rd Edition Mega Sitting Supplements Module. The side panel notes a fantastic adventure board game. New maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. Eugh. The price is steep, but then it's a 3rd Edition Mega Sitting Supplement, so it makes sense. Storekeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Raubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? Wow, I have a children? Family? Ow. Certainly feels like whatever you are will die with you. Yes, kids, friends, chicks, I have all of those.
Then you're a lucky man, officer. Children are the greatest of treasures. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
That's a fun family game for everyone. That's pretty funny. So what about all these We're All things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all.
Yeah, only assholes play role-playing games.
They turn people into occult enthusiasts.
Oh boy.
But they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
People used to actually think that shit. It was like a big D&D morality scare in the 90s or something. These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. Crime fiction is a disgrace, an asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes and arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of the books found on the shelf? Oh god, no. Ollie says D&D First Edition was absolutely devil's work. What a terrible game. Picture book. I think there actually is something in here that's worth grabbing. Might be here. Tome of Fascist Magic. Hold on. That's a what now? I can't redo that check. Freaking Nazi occultism book just hanging around there. Shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever those are. Browsing through all the books with their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant, so it's all just vapid egotism. Egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Uru and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook. What's it about? High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tournée racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver Jacob Uru. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Uru's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other. Wow! Next to that, the Revacholian radio personality Guillermo Bevy stands in front of a run-down drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though, but not too long.
An unpleasant woman. She understands she has erred against the customer and immediately corrects course.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
God, don't ever say that again. Never tell me time is commerce. I will hate you. Boy, I really... Never mind. Let's just not even finish that thought. Ollie says, it's okay, you can hate her. I mean, I do, yeah. This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature. Ooh. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, and balance. The point of the book, and many others on the shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. Interesting. Various paranatural books still litter the shelf. Here we go. Here's what I was looking for. You know, the very last check. Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They are held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Inselind, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. It's not really a map, it's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it drawn from an isometric perspective. Well, that sounds perfect. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling and rags there. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of the river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. The delta has a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Les Jardins, Stella Marie, suburbs of Saint Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East. To the west of the river Couron, it's somewhere to live, not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. That Faubourg is almost as bad and much larger. And then Coal City, it's the worst. Martinez? So small you can't even see it on the map. Oh wait, there it is, north of Jamrock. A strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. Looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have, but it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive. Need to buy a map.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them.
I believe we do know at this point that I apparently live in Jamrock, I guess, yeah.
They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Why is the one in Martinez so cheap?
That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
What happened then?
They didn't get that far. For some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business. Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
Alright, so now I actually have a kind of real map of Revachol, including a whole bunch of places I can't reach yet. So, like, where's the lock? It's gotta be right around... It's actually not even on the map. It's like right here. This is about as far as I can get. Because, like, we saw that was the ramp that some asshole used to jump his friggin' motor carriage. Actually, while I'm on that screen, I should actually take a look here. I've gone up in encyclopedia skill if I want to look at the monument again. Could try to fight Measurehead again. Sleeping dock worker. Oh, the guy in the whirling and rags, I think. Yeah. An impossible conceptualization check with Joyce. I don't remember that either. I'm gonna be talking to Joyce by the end of this game day, for sure. Get in some good words with her while Kim's off doing police work. See a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange, cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
She's right, those curtains give off some eerie vibes. Better not mess with it. A legendary Inland Empire check. What's so eerie about these curtains? Be wary of those mysterious ornaments from the Dark Isles. Dark Isles, what's going on? Do you realize what's out there? Upon the mist-shrouded islands of the Ile du Fantôme in the Seminine, eerie pygmies and wild shamans practicing unnatural mysticism? So the remote viewers division is real? I am it, and I am up to the task. Wait, what? What's the hang-up? Mystical spirits, unnatural emanations, nothing a paradetective can't handle. Let's go! Okay, you're one of the initiated, then go ahead and fiddle with the curtains, but do so at your own peril. Shopkeeper, what's behind these curtains?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
Fiddling with the pendant as she says this. Speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron, assembled from bone, sticks, and straw, inside a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. Aside from poking at it, suspiciously, there's nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you. I'm gonna go for it. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand has closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
Metaphysical. She looks away, mumbling, why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people? But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
And this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
The powers. The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain its slippery darkness. I don't care, you can't stop me, I'm gonna open them.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
There is something mysterious about the curtains, be careful. Just walking around with my ledger.
Esteemed officer, and welcome to crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Why are you so uptight about those curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
If it's just a storage room, then why does it have a Seminese ward protecting it?
It's just for decoration.
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile, then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Take it easy. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing. Cat says, I dressed up like a racist caricature of an Asian prostitute working part-time as an accountant and convinced her I was a spiritual detective and a wizard. That's too much to digest. Why didn't you just tell me right away it's the curse?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism. It's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow, void wraiths. You have new words. I'm gonna have to remember that for D&D, man. Maybe not. How does this curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress,
Ugh.
ruin, and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move? Wait, that's it? I was hoping for something more paranatural.
But officer, there's nothing natural about entire companies declaring bankruptcy. I'm talking about
What's this natural?
demons, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Sounds familiar. Strange. I feel unwanted too. What does it mean?
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
Would you like me to take this case? I could investigate, see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
Psychic arts sounds right down our alley. Damn it! Why did that have to be an int check instead of a psyche one? Time to fire up the old eye machine. Dealing with ghosts is simple. You just gotta show them who's boss.
What does that even mean?
Extreme violence. The wards only make them invite their ghost families. The Seminese want that because they're in league with the ghosts. Wow.
Take me for a complete fool? Leave it be and just go and look at the books.
Okay, maybe I'll stop saying words. So, we'll come back with better drama skill, I guess. There actually might be another way to open that check. Some white checks are like that. As a matter of fact, it might be what you're talking about when dressing up as a, what, Asian prostitute accountant? I don't think there's much of anything I can do, like the two big ass-wagging things still going on that I really need to address. It's good that we got the body down and all, but I'm still missing my badge and gun. And I'm trying to think, and there's nothing I can really do about that right now. It was snowing a second ago, now it's raining. Might as well talk to Joyce, because, again, there's simply, I'm running out of things that I can do without Kim on my back. Ollie says maybe if you burn this fucker down, you'll hear your gun go off. Now that's problem solving, that's just good detective work.
Back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
Could use a coat like that, this rain's freezing.
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day.
Joyce is such an interesting character. She is a lot of things. Like, she's like one of the dangerous people in this whole equation of stuff. She's, like, not really quite what you would call an ally, and yet she's a straight shooter and, like, a good person who does want to help you. She's interesting. I talked to Everard Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Where is it? It's not in here, it's a different one. I'll get there. You know what I'm talking about. I have the feeling the international community does not approve of him there. I like that one.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually, corruption.
Ah.
That's how he's done it. Fantastic, verm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth. Of course, I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a verm myself. But if you felt like passing some information, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things. Yes, your disgusting tie agrees completely. Let's gossip. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him. So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun?
Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun.
Yes. As you said.
Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun.
Your gun, yes. Do you want to talk about something else now?
Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. He seems to be in some sort of loop. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. Well, that's not good. Looks fine over here. Are you sure it's not some kind of glandular problem?
What is happening?
No, it's not that. I have no idea. This is bad. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun.
Sweetheart, please stop repeating that now.
Your eyes look worried now, frightened even. This is going to be hard to recover from. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun.
Please.
Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. How do we get out of here? What makes you think we will?
Yes, Mr. Everard. This gossiping idea was terrible on my part. I take it back.
Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. The woman scans her surroundings as though a neurologist might magically appear. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun.
Do you want me to take you to a hospital, sir?
You think we should turn him off and back on again? Yeah, we need to pull the plug. There's nothing else we can do. Are you not afraid it'll kill him? Okay, I'm gonna do it. Hang on.
Detective! Is everything all right in there?
What happened?
I'm not sure exactly, but you seem to be caught in some sort of loop.
Loop?
Never mind the details. We've wasted enough time as it is. What matters is that you seem to have got out of it.
Mr. Ev...
Please ask me something else before it happens again. Something that, preferably,
You could totally do it again.
Mr. or Everard.
I'd rather talk about something else for right now, if you don't mind.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
So I've been dealing with Everard again. It's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say. I can't even say anything else about Everard at this time.
Of course,
That's kind of a shame, but totally worth
drop by
it.
later, should something come up.
You know what?
Now,
I actually do have at
what
least
else
one
can
more
I do for
conversation
you?
I can get into over by the lorry guys, unfortunately. Not that I want to overwhelmingly, but you know. Maybe it'd be nice if I had something positive to report to Joyce. I'm not sure if she even knew in the first place that your gun was missing. She knew about the badge, but I'm not sure if I did let her know that the gun was also AWOL. That's why her initial response was just like, oh, cool, jeez.
Looking for something?
Found this mug in the trash, the racist station mug. Is this yours?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. I haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
Is it yours?
God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
He doesn't live in Martinez. You're a lorry man, right? What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
He takes a long drag on a cigarette. Why not?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
They make alcohol. Yeah, here we go. Listen, I agree. It's our responsibility to keep this poison off the streets of Revachol, right? He eyes you warily, unsure how to respond. This goes on for about 2 seconds, and then...
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Then what are you doing still hanging around here for? Most of the other camionneurs have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby. And I see one lorry with the trailer doors I did see one lorry on the trailer with the trailer doors open on my way here. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his luck and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it.
I did that once as well, Cans, but damn it, Kim's not here.
Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
If they were getting drunk inside the Whirling in Rags, how could they know who broke into the lorry? If you were all at the Whirling, how could you know it was Kips that broke into the lorry?
What? Aren't we allowed to say that it's the Kips who do all the stealing around here? That's not rotor science, man.
If it's not you, then who's running drugs through Terminal B?
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Wait, the street vendor south of here? That guy's a lorry driver?
Of course he's a lorry driver. What? He tell you he's just some simple businessman or some shit? He's selling his employer stuff after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, alright? 100%.
Guess I need to pay him a visit then.
Guess so.
Yeah, this would be great if Kim were here, damn it. Where's Kim when you need him? Oh yeah, driving the 8-day-old stinky tree corpse to the morgue so somebody can pour it into a bucket and get rid of it. Freaking Kim, doing police work instead of helping me talk about cryptids.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
So, Seleng, what's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Tasty, tasty drugs.
What do I say to this? I am super into drugs.
That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs on sale. Or at my home, or on my person.
I feel like when I said I'm super into drugs, somewhere else in space, detached from any of this, wherever Kim is in space and time, he just twisted and looked directly at me. We're looking for a lorry driver who is transporting drugs out of the harbor. He or she is in this traffic jam.
That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But, I am not a lorry driver. I'm just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
But you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right?
Yeah, it's the fat racist.
I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. I'm...
Realizing you can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
So you forgot to tell me.
Exactly. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole with ingenuity.
Stop squirming. What do you know about the drug operation at the harbor?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
Wait, what crowd?
Crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
He doesn't want to talk about them. He's afraid. What are you afraid of, Seleng?
Look. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it. Your buddy, Seleng, help us out. No one will know it's you.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Interesting. Could this driver be connected to the Hardy Boys? Is the lady driver the old woman back there? Dazed out? Strange?
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved. I told you.
Could be. She was strange. Could she be associated with the Hardy Boys?
I don't know. I'm not local. I don't know anything about that.
Who are these other drivers who talk?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now.
He's aching to get back to his usual shtick. All this whispering is bad for business. Okay, we're cool now.
All right. Very cool. Let's cap this off with a purchase. A pair of funky sunglasses, detective. You deserve it. And I deserve it too. Don't you think?
I'll leave you to it for now. Wait a minute, I just remembered something important. Something very important.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Yes.
Sporty and practical, officer. Good choice.
Froggy. Now I perceive. The malformed green frog of the visor seems to keep an eye on your surroundings. A beady, suspicious eye. That lime-tinted cellophane appears to be poorly molded. The imprint says made in Safre. Reaction speed hat isn't bad either, actually, but... This is advanced hobo cupping. We're the real deal now. I like this, you can zoom out further perk that I have. That's neat. I'm doing that thing again where like I remember an upcoming conversation and I'm like, oh man, come on. Right, the funny borscht. Oh yeah, I gotta go open that door for Everard. Ah, shit, that's something I could do. Alright. Joy stays up pretty late, so it's no big deal if I burn some time.
Looking for something?
I know you've been giving me the runaround. Fess up, where's the lady driver?
I don't know what you're talking about.
First, you knew Seleng didn't do it.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another honest lorryman's job. Talk to him. I don't know anything.
Just tell me which ones are Lori.
Listen up, fuckwit. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Rivachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run shit.
So who does? You?
I ain't saying nothing.
Yes, you are. No, can't do that. I don't have that kind of authority. But I can get violent with him, though. You want me to get violent with you?
What? Here on the street? You won't? Now fuck off. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why are you smirking?
Fuckwit. You don't scare me. You
just tell me who the goddamn lady driver is.
You're all bark and no bite. The real dogs are up in Jamrock. Everyone knows that.
Who is the lady driver? You won't get into trouble.
I'm not in trouble right now, and I don't have to tell you a single thing. Now, fuck off.
I might need Kim to get any further with that. Yeah, that may be all I can get out of this investigation for right now. Yep. Think we're at a dead end with this. Alright, well, let's go ahead and do Everard Claire's dirty work then. And I guess go see him without Kim. Feels like doing anything without Kim is, like, risky. Kim's the adult. Run! Run, Harry! That's right, we learned our name last time. We're Harry Dubois. Greenhouse. This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn, the copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. Door is thick with rain. You don't hear any movement inside. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp. You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment. You feel eyes on you, watching you from the windows overlooking the yard. Just unlock the door. You try to be as silent as you can. Takes a bit of rattling on the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Well, buddy, you opened it. No need to go inside. It would be rude. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there? A white alligator? A fountain of quicksilver? There might be important information in the apartment. I mean, there might. Master investigator, you just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places, can you? It's my duty as a cop to investigate every square inch of the world. Attaboy, this world's secrets were made for you. They wait patiently for you to uncover them. I feel like that would be a good one to internalize. The Jamrock Shuffle. By now it's clear you like to look inside containers. You like to open doors and see what's behind them, maybe secrets, maybe more juicy containers. Let's be honest, you like all containers. Trash cans, utensil trays, manholes, coat pockets. Secret containers left behind by the Philippine kings that hold forbidden relics. Okay, you haven't come across any of those yet, but one day... Wait, is that why you're so hellbent on opening containers? Do you think one day you'll find the Holy Scepter and the Orbe de Montaigne? I don't want to keep using all of my, like, level up points on thought slots, though. Wait a minute, what if that one would help open the container? I need to put a point into conceptualization so I can try that again. It's important. Okay, let's go see Mr. Everard. He's helping me find my gun, you know. Joyce looks around as if a neurologist might magically appear. It will never not be funny. Oh yeah, I can check this too. Not that there's any great incentive to, but... Oh yeah, I guess I could talk to Tommy too. I almost forgot. Passed right by him.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind?
I heard that one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
He shifts around suddenly uncomfortable and looks away. I don't mean to pry, but I need your help. She may be involved with the drug business.
Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Who is this person? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. Now I see why.
Who was she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
What does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
She may have dyed it again. Tommy, you're killing me, man. I asked you who's conducting the drug trade. You said you didn't know. Now you're saying you do.
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her. That she wouldn't be mixed up in it.
He still is hoping. It's just wishful thinking on his part, not trickery. When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
I can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
You said she's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
It's not snitching, it's just a few questions.
It's snitching, man. I know what it is.
I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not?
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Hold on, her mind?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
When she left, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right, there are other options. The race man, for one. The gray-haired woman, maybe she knows something? Push Tommy and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals. Put yourself in my shoes. I need this for another investigation, too. It's important. I can't blow it.
You're not gonna put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man.
Imagine it. An explosion of stars. Goodbye, world of men, money, and machines. No, no. No, no. Fine.
Thank you, friend. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. Would help with my rhymes, too.
Guess I'm not as dead-ended in this investigation as I thought. Mr. Everard is helping me find my gun. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philippe was known for his profligacy. In what way? Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy during the Anticentennial Revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola. How did he manage to blow through the entire national treasury? Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, various chalices. He called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers like some obese dragon instead of a bed like a normal person. The man certainly knew how to live. Shut up, Necktie. A deplorable farce. No wonder everything went to shit. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. The what now? You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury in gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. This is a lot to process. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. So he was addicted to nose candy, a bloated druggie? That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay. Okay, where's he buried now? Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleared out the royal mausoleum. What happened to the statue? The original was blown apart by communards and then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn of the century revolution when Martinez was leveled. We restored the monument. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber floating on a sea of shit. That's brilliant, so funny and nihilistic. People in Martinez tend to disagree, as do many prominent arts critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than young ironists. Philippe III, the Squanderer, however, with his bronze face stuck up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. Whoops, almost forgot I was going to talk to her, see if she knows anything about this lady driver.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
Alright, are you the lady driver?
Did you just call me a lady, Jerife?
She clearly doesn't think she's a lady, don't repeat it. I like these cases where, like, suggestion or some other skill, like empathy or whatever, just warns you against just picking a certain option. Like, it doesn't actually change your options, it just encourages you to pick a certain one. I was told of a woman driver, you're the only woman here.
I'm not that either, Jerife. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul.
So you're not the driver everyone's terrified of?
I'm only terrifying to small children, and to those who used to know me.
You said long haul? That's...
The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there, it's all just... In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay.
In the background, a quiet song seeps from her cabin into the air. You don't hear any vocals. And who is the female driver I was told of?
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around, when I have my movies to go to?
Why are you scared of the people who used to know you?
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was.
That's all I needed to know, thanks.
Oh, Sim.
Welp. So the only other guy to talk to is the racist. And again, I seem to have dead-ended with him. Maybe Kim will know what to do. I miss Kim. He was barely even a Harry Dubois without Kim. That's not fully accurate. I'm just saying. What am I supposed to do? Just supposed to figure this Cough shit up. You can barely figure it out being awake. This is where I just picked up the phone and via muscle memory dialed a video rental store. One of the weirder interactions of this game. Let's hurry it up. Busy cop, places to be. Am I still wearing the green croc skin shoes? Yep, snake skin. Yvonne student means whale fjord in Arden. Okay. Now we know. You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. Hey there, sugar. The container door appears unmoved by your attempted flattery. Tough nut to crack for sure, but the strongest containers often have the softest hearts. Okay, hold on. TechMate says, I just Google translated an update post from a Japanese artist that the result of an explosion of love for hand is such a disaster. Face art times. Please excuse me for all the terrible things this time. You're a fine piece of engineering, you know that container? The door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before? Why does this situation feel so familiar? Do we have a history of propositioning inanimate objects? No. Container. One day. I don't want to talk to that guy anymore. I don't like him. He's too cheery.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
I opened the door, you asked me, can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable, just tell the truth. Deal wasn't for me to go inside, so I didn't.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
You said the lynching and the strike are related. How?
By now, I'm sure you figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
What do you mean?
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
Our victim?
A security contractor. Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa. You name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Hold on, you have a village elephant?
No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Wait, they moved the container?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types.
Where does he go to the bath? Never mind.
One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
How did he end up hanging from that tree?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
Sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime. Did they kill the hanged man?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Are you not afraid we're going to arrest them?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martin A's boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He's just boasting, and it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried. He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error? Anyway. How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
I do seem to remember that when we ran the serials on those boots, that they, somebody changed names a lot. So you think the security contractor organized the scabs?
You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
The name of the company is Crenell this time. It might have been Sediment before.
Of course. You're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me.
You mentioned a lawyer girl?
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
What more can you tell me? Who's second in command? Who's the most violent?
Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Where could I find them, as if I didn't know?
You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna show up in full force tomorrow.
I mean, okay. In the future, I could use your backing. Can you ask the Hardy Boys to cooperate?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
When you meet this Titus, tell him about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Here's $5. I don't need it. I only wanted you to help me with the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
God, what a sleaze. Good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
Man of the left? So you have to be a social democrat? He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
What would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth center in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth center, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Fine, if I happen to be there, I can ask them.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here, you need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the water lock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then, I'll know you're a solid socialist.
I'm told the Union is involved in the local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
No comment.
Harry, you wound me, Harry, in the heart. But I trust you to put this to bed. Do what you must, and let's change the subject, shall we?
Seems to be the only topic I brought up that put him strongly on the defensive. Everard, I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Ugh. No, that's not what I have 1 skill points. I think I'm gonna put it. I'll get the conceptualization skill level later. I really feel like Jamrock Shuffle might be a good one. Gee, I'm developing 3 thoughts right now, and I already have 5. It's a different build than I've done previously. Ugh, God, this game's... It's story is still confusing to me a little bit sometimes. I don't know if I can get anything else done regarding the drug situation. It might actually be enough for Joyce that I've tracked down. Nah, I kind of haven't tracked down the lady driver though. That I know of the lady driver. It's probably not enough, but. Pretty much going to talk to her either way because there's not really much else left for me to do. I'd find some way to kill a few hours and talk to the guy at the balcony. But I do have a pretty long conversation with Joyce coming up, so that's a possibility. I'm gonna go and let her know that Everard is helping me find my gun. So Everard seems to think these guys were planted here.
Shame on you!
Alright, later.
Looking for something?
Oh yeah, I can also look into the funny borscht. I mean, why not? We're trying to kill time. I'm trying to remember exactly where the wild pines tied into this strike, this dispute. As they hired Crenell, apparently. The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence. What is in that borscht you're making there? Man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak. Yes.
Borscht need more vodka?
Ah. Borscht. That is a great word. There's one vowel in that. Vodka borscht. I love it, Bratton. Turn it the fuck up and ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. This place is a powder keg. No vodka. Got it. Cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak. Alright. You said you're friends with Manana, is that true? The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures, then falls silent again. They're friends. Stay masculine, my friend. Vodka. Don't talk to the Hardy Boys. That's right. Police work is hard. Gotta take breaks. I suppose I can at least give Joyce like a status update. There's probably some dialogue for that. I'm a little bit curious about that apartment, though. You know what? I'm gonna snoop. Probably shouldn't snoop, but I'm gonna. Actually, it's been a little while since I... wobble. Since I did, like, a real save. There we go. I mean, I guess I could buy a book, if I could find one. That doesn't revolt me. Could read a Dick Moen story. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure, a dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols, a broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures. What do I mean uncomfortable? The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. Typical asshole. This person is unhappy. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines. The owner of this collection could be dumping his trash in the Whirling's container. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. So we found where the racist mug came from. Hey, maybe you should break into apartments more often. Is this really the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash? Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in the trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, a good thing to keep in mind. Could ask Everard who this person is once you're done here. Maybe later. Shirt. I'd rather be wearing that than the stinky tank top. Damn, I'm actually almost starting to look respectable. Almost. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag. This is the flag of Revachol of the Suzerainty. Sorry, the flag of Revachol the Suzerainty. What's with the sun? This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. That is the sevenfold sun miracle. What is the sevenfold sun miracle? It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag. It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomena of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth and blue flares? The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with the sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing. Hidden world of walking sticks. Drugs. Alright, you know what? I kind of, as much as I don't really want to run all the way back to talk to Everard again, I kind of do want to ask him whose apartment that is. Ugh. Alright. Travel time. Travel segment. Sometimes those captions pop up weirdly when things off screen. Oh hey, the fence is not interactable now. I better wear my detective shades. You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. What kind of vehicle drove through here? Hard to say. The The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling rags. This is point A. The driver started there, then accelerated straight into the fence. Left a hole big enough for the Franco-Generian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager. Why that pang of guilt again? What happened next? The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building, before heading south. Must have been in a hurry. Is this the point of departure of the motor carriage? This is the point of departure of the motor carriage that crashed into this Samaran barter sign, right? Well, I guess it is. Good connection. This is significant somehow. Maybe. Probably. An ominous warning of bad things ahead. I got it. Clicky. Click game. Adventure. Measurehead. Is this what it looks like when Kim leaves at noon? To drive a body to the stink heap? I feel like there's just barely any disco allowed without Kim. Maybe there's still plenty of disco but no Elysium. Everard, I found another point of conversation. I hate talking with you so much.
Mr. Dubois, every worker?
Member of the board?
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart, too. How can I help you today?
I wanted to go over a couple of things about me.
Let's hear it, Harry. Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and amnesia.
Turns out the strikers were being served an alcoholic brew. I stopped this madness.
I don't know what that means, Harry, but I love it. I love your initiative. Knowing you're out there keeping things running lets me focus on the big picture stuff. Don't even tell me what was going on. Alcoholic brew? Stronger? Stopped it? Strike? I'm just gonna let you surprise me, Harry. Great! You want to bounce something off your old friend Mr. Clare, right? Well, let's hear it, Harry.
Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Ken says I walk away to use the bathroom and you ruin the borscht. Funny, Joyce didn't mention a casserole.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
That much is true. His heart truly is in it. Though you wouldn't think so by looking at him. If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now. I don't know where to find a way to ask him about that apartment.
Most certainly, Harry. Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming these things.
There it is. So there was a collection of colonial mugs in there, and I found a similar mug in the trash with the hangman's clothes.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best, helping people, with the power of politics.
Do you think this weasel has something to do with my case?
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you.
But this weasel might have cleaned up after the killers.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
He imitates bashing something with an imaginary baton. Great technique. You'd make a great sergeant.
Oh, you're too kind, Harry. Way too kind. I know I'm not a real police officer. You are.
That predictably went nowhere.
By all means, Harry. What's on your mind?
I'm going. Ugh. So our dead guy was a quote-unquote security contractor from a company called Crenell, hired by the Wild Pines. Shipping company, I guess. Shipping and like logistics company. Ollie says, I feel like that guy is a laxative away from losing 30 pounds. I swear I was getting that impression myself. It's like sitting down is the only thing keeping it in. That's why he doesn't go anywhere. He just doesn't have to anymore. If he ever moves again, it's just gonna... Like, you know, what was it, The Shining, where like the elevator opens and all the blood like explodes out of it? Except poo. This is not a mix of imagery I want, says Ollie. We don't shy away from anything on the Disco Elysium stream. No holds barred. I love the music right here. Wait a minute, can I open you? What are you? Money. What was it I needed to try to convince that lady again? Rhetoric with Silang, I don't remember that. Liaison's drama, of course. Drama mostly pertains to lying and spotting lies. I apparently can check the backyard wall again. Probably need to wait a little while though. But she's really making a mess out of that dyed diesel. Getting it everywhere. Hi, Joyce.
You're back.
Mr. Ev.
Good. What can I help you with?
So I've been dealing with Everard again.
Oh?
Mr. Ev, no. He asked me to deliver an envelope.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you deliver it?
To a nameless settlement down the coast somewhere.
Ah, yes. I've been meaning to go there.
With longing. Clear and simple longing. Strange, why did you want to go there? Fond of this village, aren't you?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another.
So you've been to Martinez before?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not.
Sounds like you missed those times.
Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats. Like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now. He wants to build a youth center there for the children of Martinez.
A youth center with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him.
So you're sad you can't buy the place?
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village.
She's more defensive about it than usual. Daisy's here, by the way.
Full of
Catstream.
ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information?
Ask me to open a door?
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that.
No, I mean like a door, like to someone's apartment.
Oh my. A real door?
Had to be done. I got information. It was useful to the case.
That's good to hear, Detective. Police work is rarely pretty, but it sounds like you did what you had to do.
Oh, Daisy's being nice. Her bartering mind cannot fathom that you didn't ask anything in return. The Union's militant wing organized the lynching.
Yes. That's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys, they're called. Find the name rather amusing, honestly.
Everard says the Wild Pines sent mercenaries after the Union and now one is dead.
The company did not send mercenaries after the Union. I told you in great detail about the mistakes my side made. And of course, I accept them completely. I just hope you don't share Everart's view on things. After all, as he said, one's dead now. The Pines certainly hasn't killed any of theirs.
Look who's defensive suddenly. You didn't seem at all worried about the whole conflict that's developing.
I wouldn't have taken Everard for a saber rattler. Was he surrounded by Union men he wanted to impress?
Uh-oh, hold on. Daisy got tangled up. Okay, there we go, we're fine. No, it was more like you wanted things to get worse. In secret, of course. Wasn't trying to impress anyone. I think he wants things to escalate.
Or he wants you and me to believe he wants to go to war.
Maybe he was manipulating me.
I'll think it over, Detective. Thank you for relaying this information to me.
This gave her pause. She's pensive suddenly. Hard to say about what. Have I underestimated the Union's ferocity? She has to ask herself by now. That's all I've got to say.
What you've said is quite enough. You've given me a lot to consider, and may have helped me prevent this conflict from escalating.
Hear that, hero? Feels good, doesn't it? You should relay confidential information more often. Let's talk about something else.
Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
Ah, she read it correctly instead of the funny way. I spoke with the lawyer at the roundabout.
Word has traveled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather. Wild Pines has eyes on the intersection, but not ears.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout will give them a good read on the entire quarter. So she already knows. I've made some headway, but haven't really gotten there yet. We have more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Wow. So that jamais vu that I internalized gave me a plus 12 on this check. What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
What is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Who got shot in the head besides everyone?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating, it's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a kerfluffle, all right.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
I have a deluge, too, in my head.
Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
I know that one. Anyone get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
I don't really care about kings. Tell me something else.
About head shooting?
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
She's one of them, of course. Everyone got shot. Who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay, the armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause. Moralist.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am. And also not.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
I think that's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
What are you?
What I am not is a basic term of reality.
Everyone wants to talk about themselves. She will in time. What is this? All of this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Then what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
What is Rue de Saint-Ghislaine 33 at?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the delta. That was before the war, of course.
We actually had a thought the other day where we just saw like a bubble pop up that said this used to be a more interesting building before the war blew it half to hell. Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat. Wonderful.
What is that?
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yeah.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture.
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air. What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
This actually is, like, a very interesting conversation at this point. The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water. What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I got a clear picture. Let's proceed to another term.
Let's. I am, after all, bourgeois and female. Hardly the perfect ambassador for the world. What world? Great there is a Elysium. There are those who would call it a term of hatred that originates like
I don't feel like I've gotten the whole
things.
picture yet.
Oh. You want a
Okay, there we go.
picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside, sideways. What shape is the world then?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big 3 scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you. The pale? And what do you mean corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
The point is, it's not immediately apparent coming into this game that it takes place in an entirely different universe than our own. It's not impossible that it might still be Earth in some extremely distant future, but life in the Disco Elysium world is not as we know it.
I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
Once you know that it's not quite the same universe, you notice you actually think about Kim's car and the design of it, and how different it is from any car design that's ever actually existed in our world. And you see it in like the firearms as well. Like for this point in history, firearms are kind of only a barely developed thing, like semi-automatics. I think. No, some people have mentioned that full automatic is a thing. But even like the guns that are issued to the RCM are a little on the archaic side, actually. We saw Kim use his gun and he had to like put a cartridge in it and tuck it in there like it was like an Old West gun. Anyway, Fractured Corona doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly you're conscious of yourself standing there on whatever this is. Your arms hang down by your sides. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. It is the opposite of reality.
Yeah, she said Elysium. We got the title drop. We can roll credits. Okay, but what is it? A definition?
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
Okay, and what is an Isola? Isola?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7.
So civilization for some time thought that this continent, surrounded on all sides by the pale, the nothingness, was alone. And then relatively recently, it was discovered that you can travel through the pale and there are other continents.
Windy, Zeor, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
And Insulinde is...
an oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay, what is the pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
The negation of being.
That's right. The negation of being.
She tightens her hood around her neck. It's cold outside. If we're surrounded by pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola?
Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path.
That's like warp drive conceptualization, the idea of bending space to shorten the distances between points.
But it is still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged.
Must be that much harder when the space that you're navigating is unspace. The pale can damage the mind?
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
What does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year.
It's more for her, way more. You are not a civilian passenger?
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia.
She still thinks I don't have a
I'm
name.
a member of the Entropanetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well, the strange gray-haired woman in her lorry. Do lorry drivers pass the pale?
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the pale driver about this, see what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell like you wouldn't imagine. Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
What is entropanetic?
Entropanetics is the scientific study of the pale, or
as in like
recent
entropy.
iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Another stretch of time that seems incomprehensible, not even to us Americans who've only been in America for not even 300 years, but like... we've only... Our measure of time, as we know it, only goes to 2021 from 0. You know, like 6,000 years is an incomprehensible swath of time to us. Did they cross it, the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
This is some real Alaro shit. Nobody gets that. A couple of people get that. What has entropanetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft?
Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended. Once you've crossed from near pale to far pale.
I mean, there's nothing relative to itself that it can move against. Movement is relative.
In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
If we do not,
Then they don't.
gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface. How much pale is there compared to the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, detective?
It's growing. There's more and more of the pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
It's not extreme at all. It's going to happen.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hangman's mouth open. Off we go into the wild pale yonder.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave and the world get left behind? Let's return to reality, please.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good.
Then tell me, what do you think of the pale?
Why would you politicize the fucking pale? Stop that. You know what? You were right. It is pretty friggin' disco.
Mm-hmm. You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, detective. If you don't know even this, then
This investigation will be my masterpiece, the one they remember me by, I promise.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
I like Joyce.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
That's all for now.
The Jamrock Shuffle.
That art.
In a way, yes, you are treasure hunting. Most officers from Precinct 41 do what is called the Jamrock Shuffle, cracking open containers. Most of them are from Jamrock or Coal City, the poorest parts of Revachol, that also overlap with the network of royal catacombs called Le Royaume, just beneath the streets. As children, you would all go underground, hoping to find treasure, and come back with a rat's tail or a used needle. That playful curiosity must still be in you. Who knows, maybe one day the Orbe de Montagne, the Holy Scepter, and the Cocaine Skull will all be yours.
So it's not just me. Everybody in the 41st is a weird guy who compulsively checks containers. I need to put another point into conceptualization. I need to pass that wall check at some point during this. It's not an option, I gotta. And that's just about wrapping up time. I really like the concept of the Pale. I really like the Disco Elysium world. It's... I don't want to get too heavy, but like... In our real reality, nothing is knowable. You know what I mean? We just have our Earth, we just have... We tell each other all kinds of shit. Everybody wants to believe that they know stuff. They want to know... Everybody... talks about gods and afterlives and... How many different religions have there been, each believing they're the right one, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows. So, even if it is like a grim reality such as the Pale is expanding and will one day consume everything, in a way I take comfort in that, in simply the certainty of it. I guess I'm speaking as an atheist here, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, it's heavy shit. Maybe too heavy for a Twitch stream that normally covers fart jokes, but I think the Pale is just really interesting is what I'm trying to say. Anyway. Very disco. And very Elysium. Thanks for watching my stream. I appreciate it. Appreciate all of you. On a personal level as well. Just, you know. you know what I'm saying. Thanks for watching my dumb stuff. Complete 180 from all this. Back to man dressed as bat punching faces tomorrow. So hope to see you for that. And maybe starting San Andreas on Tuesday. I skipped that this week. I wasn't feeling it. I was feeling like crap on Tuesday. So might get on that. I looked through like my miscellaneous music folder and put together a playlist of like 280 random tracks from like game soundtracks and all the other crap I've got. So custom radio shouldn't be a big problem. We'll see how it goes. In any case, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good evening. Over and out. Disco. Hey, you know what? We didn't see Ken this entire stream. That's fucked. We'll see him next time. It's fine.